is David Panic with another Sizzletown emergency news update. Scrunch-faced hat suspension system Bob Catter has called for all of northern Queensland to be immediately quarantined from the rest of Australia. When asked if this was a direct response to the increased spread of the coronavirus, Catter replied, "What coronavirus?" Meanwhile, in New South Wales, there was anger over the weekend as hundreds of fuckwits descended on Bondi Beach in blatant violation of the small paper sign urging them not to. The Prime Morrison, Scott Minister, was critical of the fuckwits, saying, "If you must go to the beach during a national emergency, for God's sake, do it overseas." A fuckwit spokesman, Dick Spoon, said he reckons the whole thing's been blown out of proportion, adding that he heard from a mate on Facey that the virus can easily be deactivated simply by smashing 2 Jim Beam mixers and a Palmer. Plate of steak tartare and a mauve blazer, Alan Jones agreed that the virus is a global warming style hoax. "It's all unnecessary hysteria," said Jones from his isolated compound miles from the city. The champion of Struggle Street said that he himself was making sacrifices and was already down to his last butler. It has now been almost 3 months since the deadly virus first surfaced and nearly 6 days since the Australian government's swift response. With a new stimulus package soon to be announced, Davo at the Piermont Bridge Hotel said, "Stimulate this, ScoMo, you fucking idiot." The Prime Morrison is yet to respond. The government has been accused of sending mixed messages with regards to public safety, although to be fair, it has consistently stated that the virus, while extremely contagious, has no effect on those stationed in casinos and schools. Confusion still surrounds the decision to allow passengers to disembark the cruise ship Corona Princess, a decision which has led to a record number of both infections and stop-the-boats jokes. Potato-based Home Affairs kingpin Peter Dutton says, "It's a cruise ship, for God's sake. Who could have predicted it to be a hotbed of transmittable microbes? Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm due to be parboiled." Down at Woolworths, plans to rebrand as the No Food People have been fortunately averted with the arrival of extra stocks. One aisle, however, remains denuded as Facebook-addled bumpkins continue to panic buy vast amounts of toilet tissue, with the Quilton-lined spare rooms of the nation's stupidest citizens now both acoustically perfect and dangerously flammable. Said one plop-blotter-obsessed numbnut, "Remember that scene in The Dark Knight where the Joker had that massive 20-foot-high stack of cash? That's how many shit tickets I'm sitting on every night as I sit there gawping down at maths through binoculars." Overseas and in France, the total lockdown has changed life overnight, with citizens suddenly unable to attend screenings of late-period Jerry Lewis films or indulge in whimsical bicycle-based threesomes. In Melbourne, travellers returning from a 14-day holiday in New Zealand described spectacular views of their windowless motel room just outside Auckland Airport. Adding to the woes of virus sufferers has been the release of a video featuring celebrities attempting to destroy the song Imagine by John Lennon. Surprisingly, the spectacle of 24 millionaires singing Imagine No Possessions, I Wonder If You Can, failed to galvanise those suddenly without jobs or income. In sporting news, there isn't any. And in finance, the barefoot investor has been declared a hygiene disaster. And finally, the television industry too has been hard hit, with many shows opting to record without studio audiences. Although at Channel 9, where the Today program has been without an audience for some time, new shows have been announced, including Distancing with the Stars, The Farmer Wants Some Bog Roll, and Infected at First Sight. That's the headlines. I'm David Panic, reporting for Sizzletown.